Welcome to Ignite Insights. My name is Olissa Rogers. I'm a casting associate currently working for Fiona Weir Casting, and my career highlights so far, I think the highlight of all of them was Ted Lasso, when I worked for Theo Park back in 2018 doing the casting for Ted Lasso. I think that's my career highlight. I do believe that In the Room auditions will come back, but I do think that it's gonna take a bit for it to be back to full blown. I do feel like there's gonna be a balance between In the Room auditions and self-tapes, so I don't think self-tapes will ever go away because we also had the opportunity to see more actors because of self-tapes. So I feel like it'll be a balance. Yeah, that's my opinion. I give the self-tape probably 10 seconds before I decide if they're right for the part. Obviously, I would watch it to the end, but it's like going on a date. Within the first few seconds if the person is right or not. So it's the same with self-tapes. You just know, but we do watch it to the end. But I've pretty much already made up my mind, unless they really surprise me. If I think that they weren't right, but normally it's within the first few seconds. I don't really see any common mistakes that actors do during the self-tape. I haven't come across that, so that's a question I can't really answer. I think they tend to overthink things if they think that it has to be picture perfect, which is not the case, because when you come into an audition, you got that one shot. So treat your self-tape as if it were an audition. So don't make it perfect. We just need to know that you're flexible and that you can act and that you fit for the part. But there's not really a common mistake, I would say, in my case. The best advice I can offer actors when sending in a self-tape is not to overthink it, to make sure you label it. And it's the same advice I would give when you go into a room and you've done your casting. Do it, forget about it, because it's out of your control. So when you send in a self-tape, just make sure you've read the instructions, because there are reasons why we ask for certain things, that you just take those 5 minutes to read clearly what's stated. Make sure it's labeled. We can hear it. The quality is good. It shouldn't be a huge size that we can't download, and also not compressed so we can't see the quality. So just a normal phone is fine. As long as we can see you and hear you, that's the main thing. I would prefer an actor that works well on set and crew, because if you have an actor that's maybe the best, he's a pain in the butt, nobody wants to work with him. And I mean, that's poor set and crew people. But to be honest, that's never happened. I've never heard of that before, maybe once in a blue moon, and that actor then never worked again, or he's or she or they. I don't think they ever got a job again. So most of the actors actually behave. But if I were to choose, I would go with that one that behaves well on set and on crew, because that will affect the other partners that they play with as well. So if you have somebody who's arrogant and cannot work well with, and you have to act with that person, that's never going to be a good result either way. So yeah, the one that's capable to work with crew and set, please. We do not go to a particular group of agents, and I feel like most casting offices do not do that. I feel like that's a myth that goes around actors, or sometimes even agents, that ask us if we can put them on their lists. We're we don't have lists. We go out to certain agents if we cast something that's up north, like when we did Brassic back then. We would reach out to the northern agents first, because it made sense. They would have to be day players that are local. But other than that, we don't go to a trusted group. We go out to all. If there's something that needs to be cast last minute, we would probably go to those that we know that will deliver, because we don't have time to go through 5,000 applications. But other than that, open to everybody. I would say there's no golden nugget. I always get that question. I just say just be very proactive. Write your own stuff. If you're not a writer, find some writers. Go and collaborate with people from the industry. Go to networking events. Just put yourself out there. Like if you go to join a theater group, put up a show, invite us. Just being proactive. Like you'll have to do the agent's work. But some people work well without agents. They work better without it. So I would say just stay proactive and just do your own stuff. Write your own stuff and be patient with yourself. The acting. Like there's nothing I want to see in a showreel apart from you can act. So put your best scene up front because we decide within the first few seconds if we like you or not. So for me it's the acting bit. That's simple as that. There's no complicated answer to that. It's very simple, the acting. And it shouldn't be too long. I like it separate in comedy and drama. But I don't really mind. It's the acting that stands out for me. That's my answer. I do feel like actors can reach out to casting directors or casting offices if they have new work or headshots, as long as they keep it, how do you say it? As long as they don't overdo it. So if there has to be a reason why you're emailing us. But again, that depends on every office. So some offices don't like it, some do. So just make sure you know which office likes what, because we're all very different. Like we're not all the same. And that's what actors sometimes think, that we all like it a certain way, but we all have a different taste. Like actors have a different taste. Like everybody in the world has a different taste. But in general, in my opinion, I feel like actors can reach out to update us, but it has to be there for a reason. And don't overdo it, because we have your CV, we keep it saved. So yes, feel free to reach out. An email to a casting director should be to the whole casting office, first of all. So never forget the team, because it's the team that does the little things. So that's why I say also when you ask questions, just be careful that you also mention the casting associate and the assistant. It's a whole team. So I would say email, keep it short and simple. Don't write a whole essay. Just say, hi, my name is so-and-so. If you have any projects that I'm suitable for, I would love to be kept in mind for it. A link to your spotlight, because then we can see what you've done, and that's it. Because we get so many emails daily that we do not have time, not always time, to read this. So just keep it short and simple. We see it, and keep a picture embedded in the email so we see your face straight away. That way we can see, oh, is there a project they might be suitable for? Straight away we think, bomb, okay, that project. But short and simple. We use social media sometimes as for Twitter. Like if we post a casting call and we're not just putting it on Spotlight, we would also put it out on Twitter. We don't use Instagram. We might have a look on TikTok, but rarely that happen on School for Good and Evil. But other than that, we use social media now and then. I feel like it is important, but we still rely on the old school techniques like Spotlight and yeah. So we use social media, but we keep it in, we limit it. Like some people use it a lot, some people use it less. We use it depending on the project, I would say. I feel like it's a good thing that actors post their work on social media. Like I have no opinion of whether it's good or wrong, good or bad, wrong or right. I think for me, it's a good thing. I don't necessarily always see it, but it's a bigger chance to get seen. Like if somebody's on their break or can scroll through and sees that, so it might catch our eye. Again, don't overdo it. Just keep it in reason. But I don't see why not. I mean, feel free to post it as long as you're sure of it and you know this is your best work you're displaying. Because otherwise it could go backfire on you. But yeah, I'm like, why not? Go for it. I mean, Johnny Weldon, for example, he got a huge following, a huge attention by posting all of those short clips. So why not? Yeah. Yes, rejection is hard, but I feel like it only makes you stronger. It's like a lesson that you need to learn and grow through. So I would see it as a good thing because it just builds your strength up, your persistence, your endurance. Your confidence might be a bit, but you just have to pick yourself up again. So I feel like also just think if it's not it, it's not supposed to be. I mean, what's meant to happen will happen. Once you've done your audition, it's out of your control. You never know what the reasons were. It's mainly, most of the time, it's not because of your acting. It's because that actor worked better with this, or different kinds of tastes under the between the producers, writers, and directors. But I think just handle a rejection as a thing to just grow, like even work, push harder, and know that you can do it. And it's not the right time for you to get it yet, but it will, as long as you're patient, you trust, and you're persistent and everything. So I say, see it as a lesson that you just grow from. That's my opinion on handling rejection, because it wasn't supposed to be. I think just get on with trying to get work, just being proactive, and just do things. Don't overthink it. Find things that might distract you, like just try something else as not like a hobby that will balance it all out. And don't worry if no work is coming in. That's the actor's journey. And also, casting directors are aware that there aren't a lot of working actors in this community that have one job after the other, back to back. So I don't think that's something you need to even question, because we are aware of that there are really not many working actors having back-to-back jobs. So don't worry too much about staying sharp, because we know. I hope that makes sense. My journey into this industry started back in 2008, so 13 years ago. I fell into it, funny enough. So I was finishing with school. I didn't want to study, but my parents said I had to do something, so I looked into TV entertainment because I also like the performing side. And then I saw this job for an internship at a TV company, and I applied and I got it. It was casting, and I didn't even know what it was back then. I said, I'll just try it out, and somehow I was good at it, or I was told that I was good at it, so I kept on going. I did do musical theater and drama in between, and balance, and like both things, so casting and acting. But that's how I started, 2008. Jeez, 13 years. Yeah, sorry about that. King's Cross. I think it's just to tell a story that moves the world and to help actors grow, see their faces light up when you give them good feedback, or when they get something and they just thank you. The gratitude and making a project come to life. That's what I love about casting. Yeah. The process from the start to the end of casting a project it varies a lot. I mean, it starts off with sometimes consulting job to attach the lead parts to get money, so Hollywood stars or something. Once that's done, you then start casting the supporting, the lead roles, or the other lead roles, the supporting roles, the smaller parts, putting out breakdowns, doing the auditions, sending that off to the producers, directors, seeing who they like, and then it's about doing the deals with the agents, negotiating the fees, and then that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Yeah. So I said it in very, very short summary because it's a lot to say, and I don't want to bore anybody here. But it's pretty much, yeah, attaching an A-lister if that's what it's needed. Then with the roles, sending out the breakdowns, finding the actors, getting them in, doing callbacks, finding the right actor with the producers and directors, and then doing the contracts. And once the contracts are done, that's our job finished, finito. And then maybe a set visit if that fits in. Other than Spotlight, we don't really use a different tool. I mean, we would reach out to Twitter, or we would look through old projects and look at the lists and the people that we called in from previous projects who we thought were good and could be good for this part. So we would probably refer back to old lists, but mainly it's Spotlight or maybe a little bit of IMDb, but mainly Spotlight. Spotlight, memory, and the lists. Final words of wisdom. Believe. I'm just saying, Ted Lasso, hashtag believe. Believe in it. Believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, how will anybody else do it? Be persistent. Be patient with yourself. Trust the timing. If it didn't happen, it wasn't supposed to happen. Keep on working on your craft and never give up. If it's what you love and what you want to do, continue going. And just hang in there. We're all in the same game. We need you as much as you need us. That's another thing. We're not on a throne, or we're not on a pedestal. If there weren't actors, I didn't have a job. I wouldn't have a job. So know that we need you and that we value you. We want you to get the job, but mainly believe in yourself, because that will show the confidence. That's what we need to see. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you, Ignite, for having me.